I give me a check and I fuck it up. Yeah. Give me a check and I fuck it up. Yeah. Give me a check and I fuck it up.
Yo, what's your boy? Jennifer back with another reaction video. We got the Bronx burning RICOs of drillers. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that sub button down below. All social media down in the description. Original video be down in the description, man. I don't know too much about the New York shit that's going on, bruh. So this might infill me too with some of this shit. So let's get it.
And I had no idea what drill rapping was, but I called my son. He sent me some videos, and it is alarming.
At one time, the Bronx was a thriving community. That started to change.
Where y'all niggas at, bro? We y'all Lori Law niggas at? Y'all just pissing on my son, Goon Ward. Nigga, y'all niggas is fucking.
You did somebody who died. His name was Rara.
Yeah. Before he died, 2 days before he died, he said, I'm gonna kill you when I see you. Look how that worked.
These individuals want to get credit for the harm that they're doing.
The gangs are accused of operating out of public housing and often stalk their enemies in broad daylight.
Why y'all running out dirty? Why you running? Why y'all running?
We are allowing music, displaying of guns, violence. We're allowing it to stay on these sites.
Alright, what is up, everybody? We gonna talk about New York drill. Probably one of the wildest scenes in rap, period. 7 years ago, there was a huge explosion with Brooklyn drill. Then the feds started doing gang sweeps, taking everybody down one by one. It got so crazy, you got shootings happening in Times Square involving established rappers.
This week's gunfire in Times Square, police have made...
In Times Square? Nigga, you know how many people are there? I hate going there. There's too many fucking people. I fucking hate going there.
Arrest 20-year-old Kumina Elijah
so I know
of
there was
Brooklyn.
innocent people
Since
here.
2017,
God
the NYPD has
crazy.
used facial recognition technology, or FRT, in 22,000 cases. Because there's so many cameras in New York, the internet gets their hands on the footage of their favorite rappers involved in shootouts and moving traffic, stabbings, beatings near delis. I mean, some of the songs that were going viral. Every other line was someone smoking on someone's dead ops. Crews would boast about those same crimes and put them in music videos like they were Easter eggs. You had the city's mayor, Eric Adams, coming out in a press conference wanting to ban drill music, even expanding and investing into different departments that tracks everybody's pages online.
Much of that work is done here at the NYPD's Real-Time Crime Center.
They're bragging about what they're doing. Social media has proven to be an invaluable tool.
A few years ago, the Bronx took over. Maybe one of the sickest boroughs in the city.
The society in the Bronx is horrible.
Rappers from the Bronx to stop using the music to encourage shootings.
I remember in the 90s, kids were throwing fridges off the roofs of the River Park Tower projects in the Bronx. And now the kids from RPT are getting indicted by the dozens on federal racketeering and gang conspiracy charges.
Niggas don't care about me, my heart, only been like 3 months, niggas really forgot about me already,
With the government trying to pin them for everything from murder all the way to animal cruelty. Talking about one of the most infamous drill voices in the scene, DIDNT, who was talking shit to a pigeon on an Instagram live stream with his boys, then shooting it dead for 100 viewers.
Your little man's right here.
Wait, what?
Dawg, wait. We about to drill out. You gonna pick him up? I can't look.
See, everything in New York was getting...
So they're trying to give him animal cruelty for fucking with a pigeon. Or he said he shot a pigeon. Niggas like 50,000 pigeons. Fuck that pigeon.
Especially for clout, followers, and numbers. With shootings spiking from 200 all the way to 500 last year. It's all young kids, aged 13 and 15, maneuvering the back alleys and the looping hills in the Bronx, using scooters to carry out hits in broad day.
This gang conducted wolf pack-like searches throughout the investigation.
Now, we're getting into all this, but first, check out my song of the day. This is my guy Millie's. Let's go. We're going to the Bronx to understand this story. Get ready to see wild shit. I mean, you got gangs dressing as Squid Games for Halloween, and it's not to go trick-or-treating. For the last 2 summers, Bronx drill was everywhere. On TikTok, radio stations, you got 3 to 4 sets of different cousins, blood-related, all established rappers, beefing with each other because of block politics.
That's my cousin.
No, both of them are your cousins. Everybody's like, wait, hold up. They cousins, they're going at it, but he's cousins.
Can't wait to see Auntie now. Huh.
Because y'all are family, technically, could you ever see all of y'all reconciling?
Nah, I don't think so.
Wow. The music in the Bronx is super high energy, sometimes too high. Like these kids got ADD or something. The Bronx has the biggest dropout rate in all of New York, and it's becoming a problem. You got kids going to school in rival territories, with different campuses getting metal detectors in them to squash gang shootings.
Jelly! OIK, you heard?
This, of course, is the rapper Shaik, with 100 million views on YouTube in 2 years of rapping, coming out of the Cortlandt projects in the South Bronx, aka home of extortion. In 2009, the Cortlandt homes was subject to a police sweeping called Operation Bad Apple, which took down 52 people for racketeering and gang conspiracy. The NYPD even went on to build a police building right across the street from the projects called PSA 7, even though a precinct and a Bronx borough court are literally a few blocks away. Cortland's home to popular rappers like B-Love and Shaik. Shah, who's known for having a deep-ass voice that doesn't really match his face, went to the rival school in the Mott Haven campus.
All them niggas got deep-ass voice. That just must be a New York thing. I don't know.
9 minutes away from his hood,
I swear,
where he would bug out towards any kid that repped the rival gang, the YGs. He was making posts talking about YG killer, even hopping on Instagram lives at 12 years old saying directly to a YG kid named Woolati that he was gonna spare him.
What's up, via Woolati? Yo, he said what's up, via Woolati? I know, I'm not gonna jump you, I'm gonna jump Nooks.
5 years later, Woolati would get murdered. See, the Young Gunners, or the YGs, is an infamous Bronx-made gang which started in 2003 in the Mott Haven houses and the Patterson houses, just 10 minutes away from Cortlandt. 2 detention centers in the Bronx.
Nigga, how does this nigga know everything? Who is this nigga? How does he know all this?
Are breeding grounds for gang recruitment, and the YGs were formed to combat the overwhelming numbers of Bloods in adult jails like Rikers Island. At one point, the YGs had dozens and dozens of different sets all banging under its umbrella, with all sorts of different hoods spread out throughout the Bronx, forcing other blocks around them to create their own gangs in response to combat the YGs. You can even see this in the classic South Bronx joint, Shot Caller from French Montana.
Damn.
In the video, French is surrounded by YGs, and here you can see the leader, Jouhef, who was killed a few years later at Club Tropicana, beaten on the head with the glass base of a hookah pipe. And when the glass shattered, his ops used a metal rod inside the hookah to continue pounding his head, leaving Jouhef drenched in blood. He'd die in a coma a week later. The youngsters who oppose YGs often cite this event to antagonize them. YGs were notorious for violence themselves. Locals remember a horrific event that took place on April 16th of 2012 when a gang of YGs were drinking liquor on a hazy night, discussing who was the toughest in the crew. This crew of YGs made a 7-minute walk and stormed their rivals on Cortlandt Ave to see what they could catch. The Cortlandt buildings were empty, except for one kid, a 16-year-old named Noah Bala, aka Moses, was alone walking. Probably weighed about 90 pounds soaking wet. The YGs chased him, kicked him to the ground, and stomped him to death. Kids from the Cortlandt projects hold Noah's name in high regard. B-Love, whose hit song, If You Know You Know, got 16 million views when it was released 2 years ago. He actually confronted the brother of a YG's member that killed Noah outside in front of the Metro Court as this guy was waiting to be tried for a different murder of another Cortlandt youth named Yellow.
Come across the street. I came to court with it. Nah, flop you, throw that up one more time. What the fuck you talking about? What you talking about? Come across the street.
The Bronx is so crazy. Dudes will get active in the courts, outside the courts, in front of police. They don't care. Now, Noah's death is brought up in dozens of drill songs, all to disrespect him and the Cortlandt projects. Notorious YG rapper DIDNT out of the River Park Towers, a YG stronghold in the West Bronx, made the song Wedgie Man This, Wedgie Man That. In it, DIDNT has a cold-blooded line talking about the beating of Noah.
Just once I whisper like a fidget. If we catch a hop, be going like that midget. So jelly fall back.
Yo. That nigga add the ad-lib Noah. Yo,
is riddled with disses. The title itself sounds funny. Wedgie man this, wedgie man that. It's
crazy.
a direct shot at Shy EK, the rapper from Cortland, who was caught on camera getting a wedgie.
Drag him! Yeah.
It's not funny, bruh.
Do you like my new song?
What you mean this? What you mean that?
Now DIDNT's home, RPT, the River Park Towers, alias the Death Towers, encompasses two 44-floor buildings and two 38-story buildings standing over the Harlem River. 8 years ago, the feds took down 20 of their top guys, wiping out the leaders, hiring security guards, and installing cameras to stop people from dealing drugs right outside. Then, the kids took over.
One way in, one way out. So this is my brother for life, forever.
They continued drug dealing, robbing. The feds were actually finding illegal weapons in the music videos, then tying them to shootings.
You got shot, is that true?
Yeah, we know. Word of my mother, we know.
New York has always had very strict gun laws. People wanted to know how these kids were getting their hands on weapons. Ghost guns, these untraceable firearms made from parts you could purchase online. It's been wrecking havoc in the city.
If you're a child, if you're a convicted felon, you can go online and purchase these parts, get the parts, construct a firearm.
Serial numbers, untraceable, no background check, nothing. That is a problem.
The whole of 2021 was crazy. As the feds were tuning into Instagram lives, you could see stuff like rapper DIDNT with his own cousin, K-Flock, flashing out on each other for a live audience.
Yeah, Muddy, don't do that, Muddy. Don't do that, Muddy.
If I see Stunner, you know I'ma whack him. Fuck that. No, I'ma clash him. Show my energy last time I saw you, Stunner.
K-Flock is literally DIDNT's blood cousin, coming from the famous Little Italy part of Central Bronx, near the 48th precinct. K-Flock's own mom pretended in an interview not even to know who DIDNT was.
Him and DIDNT are cousins.
I don't even know who that thing is. I'm the mom and I'm confirming it. That's nowhere near related to me at all.
His gang, DOA.
No, that's deep. They're really cousins, and the mom saying that's not. Damn, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
Or Dead on Arrival is an allegiance of 5 blocks, all of which are surrounded by YGs and Drillies, a vicious gang of bloods that also oppose K-Flock and his gang DOA.
Come outside, Flocka, come play. Come play today. You always playing on the internet. I want you to come play today.
Now, because the fans knew K-Flock as a crash-out specialist who would film his gang endeavors all for social media, this resulted in all his music getting more and more views.
Let me tell y'all what he did, bro. This nigga gonna call me to a mansion party full of hot. Ask KK.
Yo, I was there.
We was in there, but who was there?
That's what I'm saying. Knocker in there. Right or wrong, no.
Now, this would make his rivals upset and jealous. K-Flock would bring them into Instagram lives just to argue with them.
Bro, y'all over scariness. I was following y'all. You never did nothing to me though. Really never did nothing to me.
That kid he was talking shit to is Rajiz, a YG member from the 800 block, literally a 15-minute walk away from K-Flock's hood. Now, just 2 weeks after they had that argument on live, this YG kid Rajiz would preview a track called Real Facts, where he was going after K-Flock.
Hey yo, kicking out less with the facts. Anytime that they try to backs, he blew you again, you ain't smoking on Mac.
While this was going on, the feds were catching these same YG kids on surveillance cameras, carjacking Toyota Camrys, Mercedes Benzes, even robbing someone at gunpoint. A month later, on July 11th, those same YG goons were hunting in DOA territory, K-Flock's neighborhood. They only had to drive 6 minutes before stumbling upon a 13-year-old kid named J-Rip, who looked up to K-Flock with huge admiration. One kid hopped out of a black Honda Accord that had 3 orange racing stripes on its hood. The kid aimed his pistol, unloading into J-Rip, who stumbled into this cafe, Angels, bled out, and died in front of customers. The same cafe, Angels, where K-Flock and Shaike were hanging out on a live stream a few months ago, right across the street from K-Flock's apartment.
Word to the God. Don't slide. Don't try to go like doing some stupid shit.
Word of J-Rip's murder got out quickly that day. The kid Rajiz, who was on live with Flock a few months prior, was now on social media mocking J-Rip's death. 7 hours later, Jay's friends went off to retaliate. They found Rajiz in a private Uber on the phone, Two shooters on a scooter pulled up next to him, opened fire through the window, hitting him in the head and torso, killing Ra instantly. And all this happened in Mount Hope, a mile out from J-Rip's murder scene earlier that day. Ra's family learned about his death from a friend who was on the phone with him at the moment he was killed.
Damn.
Revenge does not heal losing loved ones, but Flock's fame was exponentially growing. He got an offer for his very first show, upstate in Poughkeepsie, 2 hours out of New York City, where locals targeted him right away. 5 people were found shot, 1 stabbed, right outside the club Revel 32, as security at the venue scrambled, turning his tour bus into a makeshift ambulance, transporting victims to the hospital. The tour bus got shot up as well, because the people that were doing the shooting thought the K-Flock was inside it.
Most of these victims were occupants of a private bus that had been identified as being in multiple locations here in the city of Poughkeepsie.
But he managed to escape unharmed. The next day, K-Flock would pop out at Rolling Loud, New York for a surprise performance.
With the surprise performance, the next stars in New York, K-Flock and B-Love.
But he got into a brawl with another Bronx artist as their entourages clashed, thus banning Flock from the festival for life. But all this beefing just boosted his profile. That same night, he would drop the song Being Honest with G Herbo, which now has 25 million views on YouTube. It was like K-Flock was on top of the world, but he was still doing drills. 6 days later, he was in a rental car with his boys, driving to his cousin DIDNT's building, the River Park Towers, spotting an op, shooting them on the Roberto Clemente Bridge. You'd think it would stop there, but no. The next week, undercovers pulled K-Flock over in Yonkers, finding a gun in his sock, which if you know New York laws, carries a 3 to 5 year sentence. The very next day, he was bragging about buying a new gun. You're thinking this might stop, and it will. Getting close to Christmas, on December 16th, 2021, K-Flock walked past the barbershop in Harlem early in the morning, had a standoff with this man, pulled a pistol out, and shot him dead. The rapper in the city with the most buzz, caught on surveillance video, wearing designer clothing from head to toe, shooting a rival. And the shoes he's wearing in surveillance video that day are the same unreleased Jordans he was showing off for social media just a few days before. The craziest part is the guy Flock's booked for killing comes from a set in Harlem that have the same enemies that K-Flock has. Geographically, they have the same rivals. They both beef with YGs and Drillies. Flock began beefing with this set in Harlem called the OIs because one of their rappers, DIDNT, was seen at a party smoking on Instagram Live with some YGs.
Yo, this shit, why do this shit got 300 views?
So Flock turned on them, gathered his posse, and made one of the coldest Bronx drill songs yet, called Brotherly Love, riddled with disses towards this Harlem set, the OIs.
But there's so many fucking sets, bruh.
Fuck you wanna do? I chill with them op niggas, whatever they throw up, I'm dropping it too.
Shy K, the rapper from Cortland, would side with DIDNT, so in turn, he would start beefing with Flock. And Flock.
It's no wonder I ain't get some of this shit, bruh. I'm starting to get it now, but there was just too many fucking people.
Start beefing with him. Both of them releasing diss tracks, with Flock saying he was smoking on Shy K's dead father.
Free Flock. We had niggas music doing bad now. Y'all need him, but free him, cause you know what we gonna do. He gonna be the 5th dead DOA member.
Interestingly, just minutes before Flock pulled the trigger at that barber shop, killing the man, he had logged onto FaceTime to talk directly to his rivals, brandishing his gun. And he was filming at the exact same stoops where DIDNT, the rapper from Harlem, had filmed a music video 1 year prior called Ready for War. Slowly, one by one, the Bronx was following the Brooklyn scene, with all their rappers getting wiped out by police indictments. 5 months later, the Drillies would get taken down in a massive RICO case, booking 20 people for murder, conspiracy, racketeering, and gang activity. Not even a month later, DIDNT, along with 22 of his guys from RPT, would get swept up as well. Then if you thought the scene wasn't toxic enough, 6 months later, the young rapper from Harlem, DIDNT, would commit suicide, which has fans still wondering to this day why that happened. Fast forward to this year, February 2023, and K-Flock, who was already sitting in prison for murder, would be one of 7 DOA members named in a federal indictment spanning from 2017.
Damn, why do you do that? Why do you commit suicide? Damn. If y'all like that reaction, bro, you want me to do more? If y'all want me to react to this, I didn't see this. But if y'all want me to react to this, let me know down in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Now I kind of know got some shit caught up. I know kind of what's going on. Hit that like button, hit that sub button down below. All social media down in the description. Original video be down in the description. And we need to know how this nigga know all this shit. That nigga might be a fed. I'm gonna catch y'all next.
I give me a check and I fuck it up. Yeah. Give me a check and I fuck it up. Yeah. Give me a check and I fuck it up.